Welcome back to the Essentially You podcast. I am your host, Dr. Marisa Snyder, and I am here to help you feel great in your body and rock your hormones with so much ease and grace so that you can reclaim more energy, vitality, and joy and become the CEO of your health. Let's jump on in. Have you ever had one of those weeks when your childcare fell completely through the cracks and even your backup childcare fell through as well? Then you know exactly how my week is going so far. So for the sake of time, I'm going to keep this Friday episode very short and to the point because straight up, this episode is late for my team to edit and get up in time. Now, recently I was having a conversation with one of my best friends and we were talking about being 40 and how young we felt. And we thought back to being in our 20s and how back then 40 just felt old. You know, when you're in your 20s and you're like, gosh, when I'm 40, I'm going to be old. And yet when you get there, you don't feel that way at all. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm so young. And so we were talking about the different habits and the way that we operated in our 20s and how they have shifted so much to now. And no surprise, many of those habits that I had in my 20s make me cringe today. In fact, many of the top 10 habits that age us with rapid speed, I was doing in my 20s. And I'm super excited to share them because I have a feeling you're going to reminisce back to maybe your 20s, 30s where you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing those. I was doing those. And then maybe today you've adapted different habits. And there may be some that actually surprise you and you may find you're still doing them today. Now, one of those habits I am definitely working on reversing or shifting out. I'll talk about that in just a moment. But I want to jump in and just start with one of the most challenging of the 10 when it comes to habits that are aging you faster than you think. Number 1, do you find yourself needing to curate the perfect birthday party or event? Or you stalled out on finishing that book or that project because it just isn't good enough. It's not perfect enough. Perfectionism is a toxic and exhausting side effect of social media for sure, causing undue stress as we try to keep up with everyone else on the planet. Or perfectionism is built into our belief mechanism. A lot of us, we feel like our worthiness is tied to how perfect things are. There's a lot of different ways in which we have gotten trapped in the perfectionist cycle. But one of those ways is definitely seeing how everyone else is living their life on Instagram. Number 2, having a to-do list longer than your grocery list. I can speak to this. I was literally looking at my to-do list and my grocery list today, and they were the same in terms of length. And I'm not going to lie, I got a little anxious because, what did I mention? I don't have nanny care this week. Okay, so we are living in a very go, go, go culture. And if you're constantly running from one thing to the next, caught in the whirlwind of business, obligations, to-do lists, girl, you are aging faster. Now, again, just like perfectionism, stress hormones are at play in a very big way here. And we know that stress hormones not only cause all kinds of disruptions, including brain fog, weight resistance, menstrual issues, but they also constrict blood vessels and increase risk for heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. So I just wanted to speak into that because there are major implications to having a very high stress lifestyle. Now, if your to-do list is getting out of control, like basically you have your list and it spills over to the next day and into the next day, into the next day, then we have got to figure out a different way of operating. And one of the solutions that I have found work well for me, because this is literally my default mode, is the lists, right? And so one of the ways that I've done this is having a morning ritual. And I'm not going to lie, my morning ritual today is very, very sparse. It involves making coffee. It involves walking outside, a little workout, and my 5-minute self-care journal. And this has made a huge difference in my life. Hence why I created it to begin with, is I wanted my own accountability. I wanted to be able to say, okay, these are the things that I am doing for me today. This is how I'm going to set the tone for my day. This is the intention I'm going to set for my day. This is how I want my day to happen for me, not to me. And so that's how I created this. And let me tell you, it has been one of the greatest gifts this last 6 months as I am navigating mamahood. And what I love about it is not only is it just a little 5-minute, like just incredible ritual to lock and load exactly what you want to create for the day, but it also makes an amazing gift too. And all of my girlfriends, all my people have gotten this journal as a gift. I've sent a ton of them out in the last couple of months. So if you've been thinking about making you a priority, but you're not sure where to start, I'm telling you this 5-minute daily journal is the perfect first step. And right now it is 33% off for this episode. I'm going to have the link in the show notes so you can go get it, or you can just go to drmarisa.com/journal and you will find it there. All right, number 3. Ooh, this is the one I am working on right now. Although I love to love it. I don't love to hate it. I love to love it. And that is hitting up caffeine every single day, especially in the afternoon. Now, I know I'm in trouble when I start to bring caffeine back in on the afternoon. Like morning, I'm cool. If it starts to become an afternoon habit, then I know it's time to scale back whatever I'm doing in my life. And so I am definitely falling into this trap a little bit more consistently throughout the week. And drinking coffee is a major part of many people's daily lives, including us mamas out there just trying to get by. Now, what is important to know is that coffee lowers DHEA, which is a hormone that keeps our appearance of youthfulness and reduces inflammation. Also, DHEA is also trying to counterbalance cortisol, which is an important stress hormone. Levels of this key hormone drop as we age naturally, but coffee can accelerate the process. And I do see so many women with plummeted DHEA levels into their 40s and beyond. Now, the goal here is not to take it away. I'm not trying to take it away. If you choose that you want to take it away, awesome. If you want to swap it for something like matcha or green tea, amazing. But all I'm asking, or what I'm suggesting, is limit yourself to 1 or 2 cups per day and drink it before 12 p.m. So that is my goal. That's what I've set myself up for right now, is 1 or 2 cups in the morning and no caffeine after 12 p.m. And that has been working. Number 4, you're not going to like this one either. Drinking a couple glasses of wine at night to wind down. Ooh, new research is out and the verdict is clear. Hands down, alcohol ages you. But I knew you knew this, right? But there was a little while where we believed that maybe a glass a night or a couple glasses a week were fine. But the newest research is demonstrating that none of it is okay. Any amount of alcohol is associated with a decrease in lifespan. And excessive alcohol consumption ages people faster by causing neurodegenerative decline, worsening hormone imbalances, including insulin resistance, causing sleep problems, increasing body fat, and can lead to a numerous amount of metabolic problems like type 2 diabetes and fatty liver disease. So I really want to recommend, especially as we get into our late 30s, 40s, and beyond, where you really begin to notice, like the next day, you're not feeling so sharp, you're just feeling a little bit groggy, you're not firing on all cylinders. That has a lot to do with that wine the night before. So I recommend swapping out the wine for a tea or a sparkling water, and make that sparkling water super fun, right? That's what I do. I drink a lot of sparkling water these days. All right, number 5. This one I learned a long time ago, but I'm really excited to share with you if you don't know already. Sleeping on your side in bed and on a cheap pillowcase will age you. So think about it. Every night you're pressing that delicate skin, literally your face, into a pillow for 8 hours, or hopefully you're getting 8 hours. And if your pillowcase is made from anything other than silk, you could absolutely be just causing premature wrinkles and sagging. What I've been told is sleeping on your side where your face is touching a pillow is doing that. I didn't realize that a silk pillowcase could actually save you. But I learned how to sleep. I call it sleeping like a vampire, where I literally sleep on my back. My arms are crossed over me and I do not move when I sleep at all. My husband, on the other hand, he is like fighting a war in his sleep. I don't know what he's doing, but he is all over the place. And this last 6 months with Kingston definitely have been a little bit crazy, but I'm getting back into my routine. So what I recommend is, if you can, sleep on your back. That is the best for your cervical curve. It's the best for your face. It's the best for reducing wrinkles. But if you can't do that, like you're not able to train yourself to do that, then get a silk pillowcase. And I know you're thinking, well, I just want to sleep in general. Ideally, the goal here too is sleeping 7 to 9 hours of sleep at least, because more so than you sleeping on your side and you messing up your face but with a terrible pillowcase is a decrease in sleep. Like sleep deprivation, which is not a surprising habit at all, that we know decreases our cellular longevity and decreases our ability to function, but it also has a detrimental effect in accelerating our aging process. So this is kind of like a trifecta in this one that I wanted to share, but that is the deal there. Number 6, eating big meals. We know that eating large meals more than twice a week, honestly ever, can accelerate aging because overindulging puts oxidative stress on our cells, especially our mitochondria. So what you want to do is eat small, spaced out meals. Remember, we want a 4 to 6 hour gap between meals. So I love talking about 3-meal magic, which Trisha Nelson is coming on the show literally on Tuesday to talk about 3-meal magic again, and to reduce our food intake as much as we can. They say ideally by 50%. And that will slow down the aging process by supporting that cellular energy. Now, if you want to take it a step further, a lot of the episodes that I've been focusing on recently, not only metabolic health, but also intermittent fasting. And this is huge for not only boosting cellular longevity, but increasing mortality. Like if you want the one thing, it's fasting, because giving your body a break means less oxidative stress and less damage to the cells and to your telomeres, which are so critical in how long we live. So check out episode 273 and 277 on how to fast effectively as a woman. They're specifically about that. Also, how to use your menstrual cycle as an unfair advantage when it comes to eating as well and intermittent fasting. All right, number 7, not consistently exercising and or moving your body and skipping weights, unfortunately, is one of the fastest ways to age your body. So one of the best ways is to get your body moving throughout the day, whether it is a 15-minute walk here, 15-minute walk there. Maybe it is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, also known as NEAT, which is where you're expending energy for everything else that you do outside of actually working out. So the more that you can build that into your life, like climbing up stairs or parking away from the store, like the more you can be walking, the more you can be doing, like unloading the dishwasher, all that kind of stuff. All of that adds up over time. And if you can add in these mini walks, like again, maybe you find a way to add 2 10-minute walks into your day. Like you just take a call on a walk or you take a break, and that's what you do is you go on a walk. This will add up. And it'll allow yourself to, reduce your acceleration of aging. And then last but not least, especially for us as women, weight-bearing exercises are so critical. We've got to lift those weights. And so the best way to do that is go to the gym or just grab 5-pound, 10-pound, 12-pound weights, incorporating them during your week so that you are starting to build that muscle mass, you're starting to protect your bones. That's what I recommend in order to get started. Number 8. Not wearing sunglasses. So this one may surprise you. And I'll tell you what, this one never happens to me. I am obsessed with sunglasses and I wear them all the time. If there's sun, if I can see sun, I've got my sunglasses on. I've been a sunglass person since I can remember, since I was like 17 years old. So not only does wearing sunglasses, yes, even on cloudy days, help prevent fine lines around your eyes, but they also help to protect your eyes from cancer and cataracts, which will help keep your vision sharp. So just something to think about. A hat is great as well, but this was a surprise for me. I didn't realize that wearing sunglasses kept you looking more youthful. And I think it has a lot to do with just decreasing how quickly crow's feet come into play. Number 9, probably one of the biggest ways that we can accelerate our age and just wear on us over time is canceling our dates with our girlfriends or our girls' night out. Friendship is so critical. And I know we experienced either a lack of it or making sure that we had it during the pandemic, but isolation and loneliness leads to depression, leads to anxiety, and ultimately leads to mortality. And what we found in a lot of the blue zone countries or blue zone areas, friendship and community, boosting that oxytocin level was so critical to them living into their hundreds. And so I wanted to just speak into that because studies have shown that people with a strong social network and satisfying relationships tend to lead longer, not to mention happier lives. So if you haven't called up your bestie, you haven't met up with someone for tea in a while, or taken a walk in the forest or at a park or at a beach, whatever, definitely make that call. And always, always make sure, especially today, I feel like we need more hugs than ever before. Be hugging your sister, your aunt, your grandparents, your parents, your partner, your best friend. Be hugging people because that is going to boost oxytocin, which is huge for us as women. We want to make sure that we are cranking as much oxytocin as possible, especially as we get older. And last but not least, number 10, forgetting to slap some sunscreen on every morning, especially to your face. Now, I learned this a long time ago by my dear friend and holistic plastic surgeon, Dr. Tony Ewan. He says that it doesn't matter if you're hitting the beach or spending all day outside or even just a little bit of time outside. You still need to apply sunscreen every single day. The sun is hands down the biggest factor in aging skin. So if you don't want wrinkles before your time, make sure that you're applying a lotion of at least SPF 30 every single morning. Now, I recommend you apply it the first thing you do before makeup or other products. Like do your daily skincare routine, then put on the sunscreen, and then put on the makeup or whatever else you're doing that day. And I personally love a great tinted sunscreen. And so what I'm using right now is this Super Serum Skin Tinted Sunscreen by Ilia. That's ILIA. It's the first thing I apply after my skin routine, and I never ever leave home without it. So there you have it. My top 10 list of habits that may be aging you faster than you think. Now, after you've listened to that list, are there things on the list that you took note of? Anything surprising? For me, the thing that I'm working to scale back, as I mentioned earlier, is the coffee consumption, especially after 12 p.m. Now, other things that didn't make the list, in case you were wondering, because there's always other things, but they're worth mentioning really, really quickly. Other things that can make you age faster is using a straw, especially creating wrinkles around the mouth and the lips. Junk food, no surprise there. Being hunched over a computer all day long, clearly leading to poor posture and spinal issues, and that definitely can age us over time. Watching too much TV, not brushing your teeth twice a day and flossing, and wearing too much makeup. Those are also things that can age you in some way or another. Now, some of these actually are just literally the appearance of aging, whereas other of these are actually cellular aging. So I wanted to just speak into the difference here. Now, as I mentioned early in the episode, I have discounted my daily self-care journal by 33%. It's such a great deal. And if you purchase 3 of them because you want to give one to a friend or a family or whomever it may be, you can get 47% off there. So again, I'll have the link in the show notes or go to drmarisa.com/journal. And I just want to say thank you so much for stopping by on the Essentially You podcast. On the next episode coming up, my dear friend and emotional eating expert, literally, she is the bee's knees when it comes to figuring out if you've got a food addiction or if you just got some emotional eating concerns that you need to work through. She has it all for you. So we're going to be tackling that topic next Tuesday on how to end emotional eating now. I know you're going to love this episode. I always walk away with some gems because we all have some level of emotional eating. That's kind of how we were brought up. And it just depends on if it's impacting your health and wellness. That's the real question. And she knows how to dig in and ask the right questions and really figure out if these types of habits are affecting your health and well-being, or if there's a little bit of give and take when it comes to this. So I can't wait to dive into this. And until then, have an amazing, amazing weekend.